Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. So, the second clip of the same lecture, we are continuing it. So, I was telling you people about the patent, that is one of the type of intellectual property rights. And what do you mean by that patents? Actually, it is one of that strong strong law that people they who people kind of license of a strong license that are being given to that people who have registered, who have asked the permission, who have registered for this to be as a patent for any organization, any kind of content. And they are, you can say, or you used to say, these are the owners. They are actually having a form of right that are being given by the government to that owners, to the inventors, so that they are free. They can exclude others. They don't want they're making or using or selling an invention or related to these kinds of ideas, and they don't want to share any kinds of these kinds of information with others, and they don't have given a right to anyone to interfere in their making, using, or selling, or copying their data or their strategy or their methods, and pretending it to be their own methods. So it's the law, it's the permission that is being given by the government for a limited time. I think UK, it was the UK that they are following that patents rules and regulations, and for that their time of limited time to follow their at least 20 years. So it is actually a right to produce and selling something for certain number of years without anyone letting it copy. So, for example, protection against copying production method that is used to create like M&Ns, and so different production companies, different industries used to have used to get authorized, get, have licensed, get to are following these patents. So it's basically a temporary right that is being given by the government, being allowed by the government to any organization, to some people, so that like from exploiting his invention without permission, to prevent people, right? So patents are primarily intended to encourage, what is that objectives of that patent? Definitely to encourage their confidence, to encourage and admire their and protect their new inventions. So if one or any company or any individual is very sure about his own idea and don't want others to interfere or copy that idea and to work on that idea, so they can have a patent. And by giving inventors a control on developing their inventions for a certain period, so no one is allowed to work on certain ideas on their method strategy for a limited time of interval. And invention to be novel and useful and non-obvious. There are some points also according to the patents that one should be that how uh, to whom it may be granted. So compulsory licensing, unlike the copyright, the inventor must apply for the patent to be granted. So in the inventor, the owner, he should really have that patent if he don't want others to interfere to copy his work. So unlike like the copyrights as we have just discussed. So I would like to tell you people about the patents may be granted to whom people, if so it can only be granted if the following conditions meet. One of them is the invention is new, means novelty. There is something new, there is a new idea, there is a new implementation of a new idea. Practical practitioners or the implementation of something that is novel method, novel invention, right? So the second is it involves an inventive step. So when you have a innovative idea, you go through some kinds of strategies and rules and regulations, and you want your organization to follow you. And for that, you people used to make a kind of strategy that is used to be, you can say, inventive steps. So it must be inventive, gone through process. Number third point is it is capable of industrial application. So when you people are talking about grant taking these patents as to be granted and permission, and you are working for long term like 20 of years about, you want to work on that idea, you want to improve that, maybe you want to continue that, maybe you want to make it better. So it must be capable of industrial application. So all these goods and products are related to that industry. So these is one of that industrial rights, industrial intellectual property rights. So number fourth point is the subject matter of invention does not fall within an excluded class. Confidential information is also one of that basic right, is one of that type of it. So confidential information, for that, when all of the research workers, when all of the group of people are working for any innovation, for any confidential information, for any kinds of products, sorry, any kinds of industrial method, or for invention, so there is actually some kinds of rules being already decided, that you have to follow this, that you have to meeting our agreements and all terms and conditions. So for that, confidential information, because many of the industries and companies work for the sense or work on sensitive kinds of information, they have sensitive areas, they have sensitive departments, that their information is very confidential, should be very confidential also, that these all of that information, that how, what is the strategy, how you are making an innovation, how much the time period is, how to make an input and to take this input to another module, how to integrate them all. So it depends actually upon the information and the strategy and steps, that how you are going through within your process, within your industry. So it's all understood that you should be very the all that confidential, private, sensitive information should really be confidential. You are not allowed to share it with anyone, with any of the people other than your um, team workers or your officials. So let's read it. So information that a person receives in circumstances make it clear they must not pass it on. As I have told that they are not allowed to share it with anyone. So normally obligation of confidence comes into existence as a result of specific clause in a contract. So no non-disclosure agreements are agreements that are specifically intended to set up obligations of confidence. All of the points जैसे अभी आपको explain किया सारा, that's all about it. So without spec next is layout designs and trade secrets. Uh, we have already about know about that the term that about that trademarks, and now the layout designs and trade secrets. It refers to the work of the integrated circuits. When you people are working for any electronic industry in electronic systems and ICs, right? Integrated circuits and their designs and their integration, their methods, their modules, their overall working strategy, their what are the steps, how what about the testing part and training part and all. So exclusive rights include the right of production and the right of importation, and trade secret consists of the formula, patterns, and process of compilation of information. and they also apply to information that is secret, that has commercial value because it is a secret and it has been subject to reasonably steps to keep it a secret. Definitely confidential information here. So you are not allowed to share any kinds of designs with anyone. Circuit designs, analysis, and testing part, and the information regarding it, right? So at the end of that slide, they said that in mostly countries, these are not that registration parts or agreements part, but are already protected through the laws that one should have to follow it. If it's a law that you don't, it's not any industrial design rights. So it's some kinds of that information regarding their name, their texture, what are the pattern they are using, what kind of material they are using, and what are the shapes, what are the architecture, what is the design. So such kinds of all the information of an object instead of a technical features. So one should be protected. Their information, their design, their work, their confidential information, their strategy, their project, it's all been should be protected. So the third party is prohibited from making, selling, or importing articles being a design which is a copy of the protected design, and when such acts are undertaken for a commercial purposes. So it's a very sensitive matter, and one should be very careful about plagiarism. Plagiarism is an art of copying material. Is an art to get to copy material of anyone from letting anyone know, or from or you are representing their work after copying and presenting it to be your own work. So cheating, cheating, stealing the data from anyone, and saying that this is mine, this is my idea. And if you are working, if you have taken an idea, or if you have taken a phrase, or if you have taken some content of that anyone around you, then you should make a reference, give a reference, give a like make them acknowledgement, right? So give them credit. These all are the ethics, these all are the rules, then one should be very careful and one should have to follow these also. So Pakistan, what about that our country, international obligations of the following system. So here are some like obligations internationally that Pakistan is following. So Paris Convention 83, and Universal Copyright Convention Protocol 1, 2, and IP laws. That is actually intellectual property laws of the country Pakistan. What are they? So the Copyright Ordinance 1962, Patents Ordinance 2000, Trademark Ordinance in 2001, Design Ordinance and Registered Layout Designs of ICs, or like Integrated Circuits Ordinance in 2000. So these were all the intellectual property laws regarding to the country Pakistan. And that's all for today's lecture. Thank you very much for attending it, and we will discuss about its questions and answers in a session. Thank you. Allah Hafiz.